Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. I'm back again with another video using some products from Pretty Pink Posh's January release, and this time I'm using the Elegant Banner Heart cover plate. Here's a look at the cover plate. It is an A2 size cover plate, so it's 4¼ by 5½ inches. It has a large heart in the middle with a banner going through the heart and a beautiful detailed floral pattern with some hearts all around the edges. There's also 3 sentiments that are included that fit inside the banner. Those sentiments are hugs and kisses, love you lots, and be my Valentine. So I went ahead and die cut a piece of white cardstock. You can die cut this with any color cardstock you wish, but I chose to use white because I want to do some inking over all of those beautiful flowers and those hearts that are on that cover plate. So here I'm just using my fingers and this poker tool just to poke out some of the cardstock from the openings of all of these flowers. And here's a closer look at what that looks like once all of those little pieces of cardstock are cut out of that cover plate. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my mint tape, and I'm masking off the edges of this cover plate. So all of those straight edges that don't have any of the pattern on them. And I'm bringing my tape really close to all of those flowers. And I'm masking these edges because I want to keep them white, and I'm going to ink the rest of the design. So I'm going to start out with some green inks. I'm using the Twisted Citron and the Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide inks. And I'm using a very small blending brush. This is the Waffle Flower shader brush. It has a very small tip on it so that I can get right into all of these small details. I'm using the Mowed Lawn ink first, and I'm inking up the bottom part of the leaves. I'm not inking the whole leaf because I'm going to come back in with the lighter green ink, which is the Twisted Citron, and I'm going to finish inking up the rest of the leaves with that one. That way I have a two-toned look on all of my leaves. And then I'll come back and blend that a little bit better with the Mowed Lawn. For the hearts, I'm going to be using a pink and red ink. I'm going to use the Worn lipstick to color part of the heart. And then I'm also going to use the Candied apple to color in the rest of the heart. So I'll blend those two colors together. So I'm just starting out with the Worn lipstick, and I'm going through and inking up what I want to ink up on some of the hearts. And once I'm done with that ink, I'll come in with the Candied apple. Now I'm using inks to color up this cover plate. You can use markers, you can use colored pencils, but I love the idea of die cutting this cover plate on white cardstock and then using your inks or colored pencils or whatever it might be to color up the different sections of the cover plate. Of course, if you want to keep it simple, you can use one color cardstock and then just add the cover plate to an A2 size card base and then add your sentiment. For the flowers, I'm using 2 different pink inks. The lighter pink is the Spun Sugar and the darker pink is the Kitsch Flamingo. So I'm just adding one ink to the center and then the other ink to the edges to create a two-toned effect on those flowers. And because it was actually very hard to see the difference between those 2 pink inks, I'm coming back in with the Candied apple and just adding a red center to those pink flowers. So all of the smaller flowers were pink and a red center, but the larger flowers I'm coloring with a purple. So I'm coloring the center with Wilted Violet. And then I'll come in and color the petals with the shaded lilac, and I'll do that for all of those larger flowers. All of the white sections of that heart are going to be red, so I'm coming back in with the Candied apple and I'm just coloring up the heart with the Candied apple ink. And this is where it's a really good idea to use a smaller ink blending brush because I really need to get into those fine lines so that I don't spread that ink on the flowers or on the leaves. Now that I'm finished adding ink to my cover plate, I'll go ahead and peel back the mint tape. You can see that crisp white border that is still there, but look how pretty that cover plate is with all of that ink added. Now I need to find a piece of cardstock to add behind this cover plate. So I'm choosing to use a piece of the silver holographic mirror paper from Scrapbookcom. I think that silver is a pretty neutral color to add behind all of that ink blending, and it'll still allow those colors to pop. For the sentiment, I chose Love You Lots, and I die cut that out of some red cardstock. And here I'm just gluing those letters on to the banner. You can see that those letters, they die cut as individual letters. So if you wanted to use them on another card, you totally can, but they fit perfectly the length and the width of this banner on this cover plate. For the centers of the large purple flowers, I'm adding some red gems. These are the red color essential gems from Spellbinders. Now that the card front is completed, I'm adding it to an A2 size white card base, and it fits perfectly on the front of that card base because that cover plate is the same size as the card base. I'm also going to add some finishing touches here by bringing in my pops of color. This is the sunshine color, and I'm adding some dots to the center of all of those pink flowers. So the pops of color, it is a liquid embellishment. So it does take a little while to dry, but it doesn't take that long. When I'm using pops of color, I always like it to be the last thing that I add to a card after I've attached the card front to my card base, and then I'll let it sit and dry. So that completes my card using the Elegant Banner Heart cover plate from Pretty Pink Posh. And if you're interested in any of the products I've used in this video today, I will have product links down in the description box below and on my blog. And I always appreciate when you click on my links because when you make a purchase, it does help support me and my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.